Capital Talk 100.4 FM, Harris Heartbeat. But of course, we continue with our weekly car show where we talk all things cars. And this is that show. If you're a car freak, then you know that you really need to be here, especially as we get into different conversations that are aligned to our cars and how you deal with your cars as well. Now, today we've got a very interesting subject discussion, obviously going on with our discussions. We're talking about the selection of cars that you can make as well, and a number of cars also that are coming from the east, and we look at the advantages of having those vehicles as well. We've had so many perceptions that come through when you speak about Chinese vehicles, what they have to offer, but we are actually here to clear that perception as well in terms of the types of cars that are coming through. And the boys are going to dig deeper into it, and as usual, our automotive technician, the car doctor, Clay Green. Good morning, Clay. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks, Gata the man.
Thanks
for having us.
Awesome stuff. And of course, as usual as well, our diesel pump technician, Mr. Dennis Tom. Good morning to you, Dennis. Thank you so much for joining us.
Morning viewers, morning listeners.
And of course, another addition who is part of our usual team, Mr. Honest Kilazi. Good morning to you, sir. Thank you so much for joining us.
Morning, guys. How are you doing?
Good. All right, so let's jump into it. The whole idea of cars and the way you get cars. And it's funny how when we talk cars, it's always, most of the time, you guys are professionals, but most of the time when we talk about cars, it's always we talk about it amongst us as boys,
Yes.
And amongst boys, you have that one person who knows so much about cars. But the disadvantage of such at the end of the day is sometimes you get a whole different picture of cars from what exactly you're supposed to get. So the perception usually changes in terms of where to get your cars and which brand is the best and how do we start to clear that up in terms of car selection and what you need to understand about vehicles?
True. Yeah, no, thanks for that. Good introduction there, my man. If you're in a fortunate position and you want to buy yourself a bucky, a pickup, you could be faced with one of the very difficult decisions as to which way to choose. Do you go down to the local car sales at the corner and choose a good second-hand vehicle? Or do you say to yourself, I'm of the perception that new is better, and start looking at your options? If you're going to be going for the latter option of probably choosing a brand new vehicle, you want to pick up, be it, you then start to ask yourself, what pickups are available? What new pickups are available? What's out there? And what am I buying? This is where we just want to talk about a few of these options and just kind of like clear the air as to, what are we buying? What's out there? Yeah. From the little research that I've done, it seems there are currently 4 major car makers operating on the tip of Africa, consisting of BAIC, Chery, GWM, and JIAC. Chery and GWM also have subsidiaries that function independently of their parent company, with the former owning Omoda, Jayco, while the latter has Haval. And when you look at those offerings from those companies, it now brings to light a lot of these vehicles that are gracing our roads and really looking quite good out there. Yeah. You got Great Wall Motors. They've got a large variety of buckies to choose from. You got JAC.
Is that what GWM stands for?
Exactly, Great Wall Motors.
It's the small things that you don't know about that's really fascinating.
Yeah, true that. You got JAC, you got Photon, you got Shanghan Automobile, JMC, and then you get the biggest Sino trucks, Fan Zhaifeng, Maxus, Gonho, and a couple of others, just to mention a few. I think today a lot of us are actually seeing these Photons and GWMs on the road, and I think if you choose to go for one of these vehicles, don't be afraid in the sense that, what am I getting into? What you got to understand is most of these vehicles seem to have all selectively taken parts from a similar parts bin. So you find that most of them seem to have a body of Great Wall Motors, but might be running a Isuzu engine or a Toyota derivative engine. And as a result, yes, they're new in the market, but given a chance, there's actually a lot of sense in actually buying one of these vehicles.
Absolutely. Let me push it to you, Dennis, in terms of the engine prospect of these cars as well, which I think most people don't really understand and get time to to really go through, especially when you're choosing these bakkies.
Okay, basically, like we discussed this before, maybe not as detailed as I might want to put it across. When it comes to these new bakkies like the JAC T9, this one is coming from JAC. It's a product of JAC. It's a new bakkie that is on the market. Very nice. It compares quite well with the Asian bakkies like the Toyotas, the Isuzus, the Navaras. But like Clay said, it's much cheaper to acquire it. But that's not where my story is. My issue is with the parts which are used. Okay, when it comes to fuel injection system, basically there are about 4 or 5 manufacturers of diesel pumps and injectors. These ones we call them OEM. These are original equipment manufacturers. So we've got our Bosch, we've got our Denso, we've got our Siemens, we've got Cummins. These are manufacturers of the diesel pumps and injectors worldwide. So any vehicle manufacturer that comes in to start producing a vehicle, he has to go and tap in from that market. Say that he goes into partnership with Denso, the engineers will go into partnership with Bosch, with Delphi, or with Siemens. So when these new bakkies that we are talking of today, the GWM, the Steed, when they are being produced with the same diesel pumps and injectors that are being used on other vehicles. So basically, when they come in, they are not that different from
any other
from any other vehicle.
Can we talk about the use of these bakkies as well? Because you will find that each and every buyer has a specific use or specific way they want to use their bakkie, and I think that's where most of the problems come through as well, because most of these buyers are using it for, say, they're carrying loads and whatever, and so you find obviously most of them wear out quickly as well. And I think that's another reason why people would think otherwise as well. Care to clarify on that, Clay?
Yeah, like we mentioned last week, you got to understand something. Gone are the days where you buy a vehicle and it's going to last a lifetime. These vehicles, because of technology moving forward, because of newer, better materials being made, and because of input costs being put into consideration, you'll find like the vehicles are made of lighter material. And because they're made of lighter material, you can't expect to load a 2017 GWM the way you'd load the old PG 720, which weighed twice the amount of that vehicle and was twice as strong. All right. And the strength is not in the sense that it had a more powerful motor. No, the material that was used on the chassis was heavy. The material used on the body panels was much heavier. And as a result, for me, if you're going to be buying one of these new vehicles, the key question is, what am I going to be using it for? And what is it coming with? What are the benefits of it coming into my fleet? If it's a fleet that you want to acquire the vehicle for, if you're acquiring it for a fleet, some of the advantages that you'll get from buying one of these vehicles is, as a brand new vehicle, some of them come out with a 2-year warranty plan or 100,000 kilometer service plan. And if that fits in and ties in with your company structure, your plans with the vehicle. Know full well that you bought this new vehicle and you got the benefits of the service plan that's coming with the vehicle.
Essentially, there's so many things to consider, I guess, before you get into purchasing a vehicle. Honest, you work with a lot of cars, I would like to believe as well. What are some of the things that perhaps you let your customers in before they choose a vehicle of their choice?
Yeah, actually, when it comes to pickups, the client that comes for pickups, I think most of them, they'll be looking for the, I think I will say, the load that it can carry, which capacity of the load, so that they can use. Most of them, they are farmers, and most of them, they drive those cars going to the farms where there are bad roads. So they like, I think, those SUVs mostly.
Yeah.
So I think the pickups are also there. So they like those types of cars. I think they suit their type of work. They use those cars.
Absolutely.
So yeah.
And in terms of the buying power as well, what do they normally consider in terms of cost as well? Because I think that's another very, very important point. You need to know what you can afford, and you need to know which one to go for.
Yeah. So on that, what they normally do, they come, everyone earning a type of thing that he wants exactly. I'll go for this, but when it comes to the JMC, the Steed Motors, most of clients now, they know that these cars are cheaper to acquire sometimes,
right.
And they have also engines that they used to know from the Toyota, some are Mazda. So most of them, this car, maybe there are different names, but when it comes to the engines, it's all the same. So that means the service and the space are all the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Dennis, let me come to you. I find it fascinating that whenever I'm online, and probably I browse through something that has to do with cars, you will find there are so many ads that also come out, and they speak about the range of parts that you can get for these vehicles. Essentially, like, I think it's even easier now because of the internet. If you are going to look for parts for your car, you can just do it on your own, and you also know the specific part that you're looking for. What I'm driving at is there's now such a wide variety of where you can access your parts from, and let's talk about that a bit in terms of accessing parts. Is it now easier as well to find parts for these vehicles?
Scatter, it's a bit tricky. Maybe it's a topic Yagatos for another day.
Yeah.
Because when it comes to parts, earlier on I spoke of OEM. These are original equipment manufacturers. Then there are aftermarket products.
Right. Then
Those two things, they are the same, but they are different. So it's an issue that needs clarity. When you speak of OEM parts and when you speak of aftermarket parts, what are you looking for? What should you put on your vehicle? So when you go online, you can be looking at, are you looking for aftermarket products?
Right.
Or are you looking for copy products?
And so essentially, even the prices will differ as well in terms of the range of the prices.
Okay, there is OEM products, parts, there is aftermarket products, parts, then there is copy products.
So it's actually stages as well to it.
But OEM and aftermarket, these are one and the same thing, but branded differently. Then there are the copy ones, which cannot be controlled by the vehicle manufacturer. So when you go online, you see a lot of things, but as a consumer, as a non-technical person, it's very difficult for you to tell
Yeah.
which is which. Is this a good product for my car, or is this a copy product for your car?
I think that's where you come in, Clay, in terms of now making sure that whichever parts you're going to get are the correct parts.
Yes, this is the thing. Like we stressed earlier on, it's very important that you have your vehicles serviced by proper technicians. For conversation's sake, if you bring your vehicle to us at Maxim Auto, not only do we have the latest diagnostic equipment, the latest, basically all the necessary equipment to make sure that we're doing proper diagnosis on these vehicles, all right, and the proper technicians to work on them. I have that facility. Tom's has that facility. When you sort of like follow that path whereby you've taken your vehicle into a proper service provider, it's getting serviced with the proper care and attention needed, 9 times out of 10 you are assured of a better option of parts being fitted in your vehicle. If it comes to a case whereby a vehicle comes into us and it needs a particular part that we can't source, we tell you, look, all right, we've got 3 options for you, be it part A, part B, or part C, and then you make the choice. All right, we'll have done the homework to tell you that, look, sir, madam, this part is what your vehicle needs, and these are the options. What do you feel we go with? And then you make the decision as to what suits your pocket or what suits your current situation.
So I guess also the essential advice as well is to go to a professional, like literally professional, and someone who understands these guys, because there are people who understands of basic knowledge about these things. But if when you are going to someone like you, Mr. Green, you're going to really have a good you stand a good chance in terms of
That's it.
the parts that you're going to access.
Acquire.
Honest, obviously, upon buying a vehicle, there's always that after experience that you have, and I know you've got repeat customers as well who come back again requesting for these vehicles. What are some of the experiences that Anopai could, I'm actually finding out that this guy has been really helping me, or I didn't know much about this car, but it seems to be functioning very well.
Okay, yeah. We have so many clients. So some of them are Tenga Motkari. They go and actually vanozodzoka. They say a lot. Mwanoya achipraise Motkari. No, I didn't know about this car. Honestly, when I came here, I asked you and you said you prefer me buying this one. Then I bought this on your preference. But honestly speaking, it's working good. And what we do mostly, me as a car dealer, I work mostly with these guys, Clayton, the one who knows the cars, how to fix the cars.
Yeah.
So I work with these guys, and in each and every car, I consult them
Right.
to ask about it. How good is this one? And even if my client comes, then I will tell them exactly what Mr. Clayton Green told
Would have
me.
said,
And mostly, you won't go wrong after consulting the professional. You see.
Absolutely.
So mostly they come and tell you, no, this is a good car, and I have someone who I recommended to come to you, so you can help him also.
And what I like about that is the whole idea now of the connection that exists between you as the car dealer and someone who is going to be the car doctor at the end of the day.
And exactly.
Because the relationship will then even carry through to the customer as well, because you are getting value.
Yes.
And that's very important as well. It's 17 before we get to 12 on Capital Talk 100.4 FM. We'll take a short breather. When we come back, we continue with our conversation. It's something from Johnny Drill. How are you, my friends?
No vex for me. Say I never call you since, but I hope that you are well. I hope your market sell. Every day I pray myself, oh, everything go day alright. And if anybody try you, know it's gonna be on sight. See my shoulder, make you rest up on me. You know I got you, let me be your friend indeed. I'm on the money, don't show now. I don't keep some for you. You know go suffer, 'cause anything I get now for me and you, yeah. How are you, my friend? I see you, my brother. How do you do, my friend? I see you, my sister. Oh, sometimes you feel like say nobody's in you. That's when I did for you, my friend. It's been so long. How are you, my friend? How do you do, my friend? I know sometimes you feel like say nobody's in you. That's when I did for you, my friend. I know sometimes you feel like say nobody's in you. That's when I did for you, my friend. I know that I don't call enough, but you're always on my mind. Oh, I did for you, my friend. I know that I don't text enough, but you're always on my mind.
14 before we get to 12. Johnny Drill coming through with How Are You, My Friend? And I want to believe that you, my friend, are loving radio so far as we've been going along with our car show. We're talking about the different vehicles that we have in the market, particularly the vehicles coming from the east, what they bring and what they have to offer, and so many things are coming out of our conversation right now. I wanted us also to talk, gentlemen, in terms of the choice of cars when it comes to these cars as well. You will find that there are those high-end double cab cars that will come through. You look at your Photon, your VAIC, your GWM as well, and those seem like the kind of cars that most buyers are going for, as opposed to the other maybe single cabs as well. What influences that as well? Is it because maybe the price of the vehicle, or you can tell that it's really a high-end vehicle, and it depends also on the use, perhaps, as we spoke about earlier.
Yeah. What I'm seeing, and I think at the end of the day, we probably need to embrace change. Like I said earlier on, a lot of these manufacturers like the Nissans, the Isuzus, the Amaroks are all riding high on the crest of the reliability that they've brought about over the years gone by.
Yeah.
If you take a look at a couple of these manufacturers, like for conversation's sake, this GWM, one factor that stands out to me is that this company has over 70,000 employees, and that's no small Mickey Mouse manufacturer there.
Yeah.
One of the vehicles that these guys produce, which is starting to come onto our markets, is a vehicle called a POER. I'm not too sure how to pronounce this here, but it's a GW Pure. All right, it's a bit of a quirky looking vehicle in the sense that it's got a very large grille, but then again, the BMWs have large grilles, and that seems to be the pattern and the trend in the way vehicles are going as we start going towards electrifying. But this vehicle has a lot of features on it that are actually very commendable. It's running the latest Bosch electronics in it, and over and above the fact that this vehicle is different, it's actually a very capable vehicle when it comes to off-roading. It's got quite a strong, healthy 163 horsepower engine. It's got a 6-speed manual transmission. Over and above the fact that it's manual, and if you want it automatic, it's actually riding on the ZF 8-speed automatic transmission, German gearbox, and it's got hill start, it's got lane assist, it's got all the luxuries and comforts that you'd expect to find on the higher end Toyota and Ford. So it kind of like makes sense to grab change and maybe try one of these vehicles.
Yeah. Absolutely. Dennis, let me come to you on this, on kind of the same wavelength. And I'm trying to look at how most of these manufacturers have really progressed with technology. And that will strike out, obviously, you know, when you see their cars and the kind of technology that comes through with their cars as well. Is it also not something that perhaps a buyer might want to look into, perhaps in understanding that these manufacturers are big manufacturers, like Clay has just put,
Yes.
and, you know, they are going to go all out in terms of making these vehicles?
In terms of development, the advantage with cars, maybe to put it a little bit easy, is most of the products are produced by a few people, just like the headlights. You get a company that works on the headlights. So it's for a new player, he just goes in and picks the headlights that suits the kind of vehicle that he wants to. So when we talk of these new cars, there isn't nothing new per se, because these products have already proved to the market already, being used by other players.
Yeah.
So basically, and these players are seasoned players, because if you get your lights from Philips, sorry to mention those names, they've been there for ages. If you get your computer box from Bosch, if you get your computer box from Siemens, those companies are there, and they specialize on those products. So when it comes to technology, basically, there are people who are basically working towards advancement of technology in those sectors. Just like what Clay mentioned about ZF gearbox that is coming on to, which is
The GWM Poor.
Oh, the P series. The P series has got a ZF gearbox. That's the same gearbox that you find in other brands. So basically, there is nothing new.
Yeah.
It's only compilation. Yema engineer, ye appearance, ye vehicle, do ya change. Of which, with all other cars, per new model, panto ya ne new appearance. So in terms of technology advancement, I think these new cars, even the interior, I've managed to go through the JAC T9. It's being launched in South Africa, and they say it's going to give Toyota and Ford a good run for their money.
Wow.
Yes, because in South Africa, the South African market is now different from the Zimbabwean market, because they've embraced those products much better, probably, than us. But for us, we've had the Photon. I've worked with the Photon, I've worked with the Steed for a number of years, and they've proved to be good vehicles.
But also speaking about, maybe Honest, you can come in, when we speak about the designs as well, I think one of these new cars that has been really doing well is the Haval from GWM, and it seems to be a very popular car as well. You can tell us better, you work more with these cars. Is it really just about the design as well that people really seem to be fond of the Haval?
Okay, when we talk about Haval, it's really a good and quality car, and from my experience with it, that car, as compared to more pickups, this car comes with a comfort and a lot more space, which I saw. So most of people, they prefer it because when it comes to work, it's a workhorse.
Yeah.
And also you can use it even for luxury with your family. They can even sit in there. You can do whatever you want, even if it's not for work.
Yes. So it's a multifunctional car.
Yeah,
as
it's
well.
a multifunctional car.
And
Exactly.
it makes it
Yes.
lovely.
Yes.
656, thank you so much. You didn't tell me your name, but you're saying enjoying the talk, and hopefully we've influenced you in many ways to make the right selection in terms of your car. Clay, how do we wrap this up in terms of our conversation? And what I've noticed from what we're speaking about is perhaps the need for increased knowledge when it comes to these car brands. And how do you do that? You consult, people like you who are guaranteed to obviously going to give you the right direction in terms of the car choice that you're going to make.
Yes, true. Like I said earlier on, let's not be afraid to embrace change. And it's Isuzu was once new in the market, Nissan was once new in the market, all these brands were once new in the market. You look at Hyundai, how they've really come out of their shell, and look at the stunning vehicles that they're producing now. I mean, that's something positive to look at.
Yeah.
So in that sense, if you're going to buy something new, yes, the beauty of the internet is there, right? Do your homework on these guys, right? Approach guys like Honest, approach guys like Dennis and myself, all right, and have a chat with us. If it's a case of actually speaking with the person that's selling the vehicle, have them bring the vehicle around to us. We do vehicle inspections. And at the end of the day, we can't guarantee that you're buying a brand new car that's going to last you forever, but we can pick out and highlight things that you might miss as a layman or a lay person.
Yeah.
And let's go with it. Let's run with it, folks.
I like it. Gentlemen, thank you so much for your time. How do people get in touch with you? I'll start with you, Clay.
Okay, you can get a hold of us on 0777 6032 or 0773 035 832. That's Genu Parts.
Lovely. Honest, how do people get in touch?
Okay, you can get in touch with us at 077 555 8110 or 0719 558 8110.
And finally, Dennis.
It's 0772 399 333. I repeat again, 0772 399 333.
Lovely stuff. And that's how we wrap it up this morning on Under the Hood, our weekly car show. Do you remember we've been also live on Facebook? That is at Capi Talk 100.4 FM. Also puts a wrap to the Capital Crunch this morning. Thank you so much for coming through. Let's try and do this again tomorrow, same time, same place, same shit, for Friday. And on Friday we go all out. It's party radio until we drop 9 to 12 midday. The name is at Scatter on social media, at Capi Talk FM, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Threads, TikTok. Go follow us and keep it rocking just like that. The Pulse is up next with Just Precious standing in for Becky K on The Pulse. Good afternoon.